That's the best explanation of Magic the Gathering that I've ever heard in like 5 minutes.
Do you want to go next, Michael?
Yeah, I'll go. So my presentation is Go Hex Yourself, reenacting the magic. I thought there were some really, just really cool scenes in this book. Uh, and I thought I could use Katie as my assistant to, do some of these scenes. We could do some of them together. Uh, of course, the one I picked and I thought that we should do together was teach Katie how to play Magic the Gathering. Much like Reggie and Ben in the book, they learn how to play Spellcraft the Magicking together. I thought this would be a good way to do one of my favorite scenes from the book. So very quickly, Magic is the most popular collectible card game in the world. About 40 million people play worldwide. You just craft a deck of cards and you play against each other. It's like a wizard duel type of thing. And the goal is just to battle your creatures and your spells against each other and reduce the other person to 0 life. The things that are in a Magic deck are your lands, which are basically your resources, your energy, your mana, and your spells, which can include things that deal damage, counter spells, things that do weird effects, creatures that have power and toughness, or attack and defense values. You basically smash these all together, form a deck, and play against people. In one page, how to play, because the full rule book is actually 265 pages long. In one page, the way you play is you get a hand of 7 cards from your deck. Every time you start your turn, you draw a card. Every turn, you get to play one of your lands, which is your energy, and they stay on the field, so they just slowly build up over time. And then during your turn, you can spend the mana that's provided by your lands by turning it sideways to note that you've used it, to play the spells or the creatures that you have in your hand. The one caveat here is you have some spells that are called instant spells, and you can use them on either player's turn. And this is where the really core trickery of the game happens, is when you start playing cards on other people's turns. You can use your creatures to attack your opponent, but your opponent can also use their creatures to try and block those, and then they'll do a little fight. And whoever's if their power overcomes the other creature's toughness, then they're gone. And then any unblocked damage is dealt to the opponent, and so that's how you end up dealing damage to try and win the game. You pass the turns back and forth until someone goes to 0, and that's basically the rules of the game. Otherwise, all the other rules are printed on the cards. You just read what the card says to do, and if that violates a rule of the game, you just do that. So I taught Katie how to play the game, a quick, kind of simulated game, and then I recorded our first real game session. So here we started the game, Katie at 20 life and me at 20 life. And she started out by playing a plains card, so she could play, or I started out with playing a plains card so that I could use it to some of my little javelin guys. Then we had went over to Katie. She played a forest, but she couldn't do anything. So it went back to me. So I attacked with my little javelin guy and took Katie down 1 life. Rough start for Katie. And then I used my remaining mana to raise the alarm and create 2 extra creatures, these little soldier tokens. Put them out there. Katie came back strong, played an island, and Kiora's follower, who ended up being very helpful for her, ended her turn. On my turn, I went ahead and attacked with my creatures, and then put another creature out. So I'm building a huge board here. Looks like Katie's on the ropes. Katie played her snake creature, this Coiling Oracle, which let her draw an extra card, then used the ability of her creature to, essentially gain extra mana back, and then played another snake. On my turn, I pulled out this Veteran Armor Smith, which gave all my creatures extra health, and then I swung in with all of them to attack her again. She pulled out her snakes and ended up trading both of her snakes against one of my creatures, and still ended up losing a ton of life. So I'm just up 5 points here. On her turn, she didn't do anything, just drew a card using accumulated knowledge, passed back to me. I put a 5th creature out, swung in and attacked. She didn't do anything. Now she's lost almost half her health. I think I've pretty much got her on the ropes here. And then turn 5 happened. Katie played Temple of the False God, which is a land that gives her 2 mana per turn instead of the 1 normal one. Combined with her little follower creature, she gets the ability to lets her untap it and play it twice. So this gives her just 4 mana instantly. Now with 8 mana, she's able to play Nimbus Swimmer as a 6 power, 6 toughness creature, which is basically stronger than everything that I have on my board combined. And yeah, this is pretty much the beginning of the end. On my turn, I swing in with my little creature, hoping that I can try and bait her into blocking, because I've got a card in my hand that could potentially blow it up. It's me like a book and just takes the damage. On her turn, she untaps everything and plays the Scourge of Fleets, which returns all of my creatures back to my hand. So all that entire beginning of my turn, that whole beginning of my game, goes back to my hand. My whole board is gone. And now it's her turn to attack. She swings in with her creature, and I'm down to 14 health. My turn, all I can do is replay everything all over again. Then her turn starts again, and she plays Time to Feed, in which causes one of her creatures to eat one of my creatures, and she gains 3 health. So now we're basically tied. She attacks with everything. I can barely block one of them. The other one I just can't block because it's a flying creature. So I lose another 6 health. On my turn, I untap. I draw a card, and I drew the 1 card that I needed to save the game here. Elspeth, Sun's Champion, has the ability to destroy all of her creatures with a power 4 or greater, which is both of her big 6/6s. And I'm like, yes, now they're all gone. I'm going to win this game. I'm going to turn it around. Except she plays her instant counter spell to counter Elspeth and make it so that I didn't even play it. Well, dang. She starts her turn untapping everything, and you can't quite if you can't quite see here, she has 17 mana to use. So she plays everything in her hand all at once, attacks me. I can barely block here, and I give her a little the ability of my javelin, and I toss the javelin right at her just to spite her. But this is pretty much a done deal at this point. I go down to 2 health. I use the remaining cards in my hand to try and trade off some of the things that she has. Sunlance, the Kiora's follower. Go over to her, and then she swings in, dealing 14 damage to me, bringing me to -12. Looks like I got krakened. Katie quoted after the game saying, "You're right, this game is fun, and I like winning." So yeah, might have created a monster. So yeah, in Katie's first game, she absolutely demolished me. But anyways, thanks for playing. If you have any other interest in playing, there's online and desktop apps you can play, or local like card game shops or online actually have pretty cheap cards too.
This was cool. I'll
Right.
say it's very loosely affiliated with the book. Both of your guys' topics this week were sort of loose affiliation.
But the BLTs are like that though.
Okay.
And they played Friday night cards.
Okay.
This wasn't as loose as you think. This was mentioned like literally every single chapter.
Yeah,
they
he
were playing
reenacted.
Magic.
It was
Yes.
super fun. And apparently there's like different deck types. So the first time I played, I had a mostly red deck, but apparently red deck wins is like a thing. So I beat him that time too, which was fun.
But if you just like collect cards and stuff, how do you keep from someone just having like really badass cards in their deck?
All the cards have rarities. What we played with were mostly lots of common cards, so that should try and keep the power level basically the same. And there's a few rares. Kate drew all of hers with her like giant flying creatures. And the one time I drew mine, she countered it.
I could see like the ending coming. You were like, I've got Katie on the rope.
My first game, I drew a hologram card, and I was like, "Is this the good one?" And he was like, "Yes."
So yeah, I'm 0-2 against Katie.
How I like it.
That's the best explanation of Magic the Gathering that I've ever heard in like 5 minutes. And there's some suspense there. I like the play-by-play. Nice job.
I guess we do a quick call to action. Make sure to check out our videos on BTL, book discussion.
Like, subscribe, ring that bell for the notifications.